Vocations in the church, we can talk about the different vocations. There's vocation to the priesthood. There's vocation to just the religious life. Back when I was just a young boy, and I used to enjoy seeing the priests in that vestment, no? The best thing we used to enjoy so much about it was climbing on the top of that vehicle and driving his ass.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Tell Us Padre. This is a show that will give you a spiritual perspective, give you advice, and this is a place where you'll ask questions without being judged and you get answers from with a spiritual perspective. Most people, as the youth sana, we usually say that we don't have the right place where we can ask questions without being judged, or we are even most of all scared to ask some questions because we think we will be judged. So this show is here to bridge the gap between you and getting answers, getting solutions to also your questions, and giving you advice. So Tell Us Padre is here because of you and to help you become a better person and more spiritual in that case. So today I'm joined by an amazing guest. Sijui nimuite deacon, sijui nimuite brother, sijui nimuite father. I'm not sure, but because he's a friend, I'm happy to have him here. So karibu sana.
Asante.
Please introduce yourself.
Fr.Augustine Biamkama. Actually, I'm not a guest. Mimi ni mtoto wa nyumbani, so it's good to be here again. I've been away for some time, and I'm happy to be taking part in this show. Thank you.
Karibu sana. Please feel at home. I know this is already your home, so feel more welcome and feel more comfortable. So today we'll be talking about vocation, and I'm telling you, fun fact kwanza hata before tuendelee, Father Augustine has gotten his vows most recently. And guys, I feel like he is the right person to take us through this topic of the day. So without further ado, I want to ask, okay, so Father, what is the definition of vocation?
Yeah, thank you so much. Maybe before we get to the definition of a vocation here, it would be good that maybe I make that introduction once again. I'm Father Augustine Biamkama, an Assumptionist, because it will come in the picture as we talk about this vocation journey. And I'm from Uganda, of course, and then this makes me a missionary and so on and so forth. But yeah, currently I'm working in Uganda and a member of the Younib family, and I'm proud to be. So back to your question, I wish to say vocation, in a very simple way, is that feeling of suitability to be someone or to serve in a certain position. Because when you talk about that feeling, it begins at a certain point and keeps growing, no? So in a way, let us call it a feeling of suitability to serve in a particular position or to be someone in life, if I can put it that way.
Awesome. So we know that there are different types of vocation. Kindly elaborate.
Yeah, sure. And as we get to that question, for many time when we talk about vocation, many of our minds will rush to the church, serving in the church in one way or another. And we are going to put it so much to the clergymen, the choir people, the sisters, the brothers, mention it all. But looking at the vocations in the church, we can talk about the different vocations. There's vocation to the priesthood. There's vocation to just the religious life. There's vocation to the married life. There's also vocation, I think, to the single life. There are people who have been created so and are going to remain so. They are not married. They are not sisters. They are not brothers. They are not priests, but they are preferred to remain so. It gives glory to God. Yeah. So we can talk about these vocations, but maybe the question you come with would be, what is what? But let me not rush into the answer because it has not yet come to me. Yeah.
Well, okay, you have made me curious, and for you to reach here as a father, it means that there was a journey behind it. So if it's okay with you, please kindly tell us how you are able to know your calling as a priest.
Quite an interesting question. It's quite a funny but also interesting story on my part. And it has been a journey worthy celebrating, and it has been a long journey. But at the end of it, God's time is perfect. This is a common question. Where did you begin your journey? And we always make a joke about it that you come from that far and God's voice reached you. It's always a joke. But I mean, for my case, back when I was just a young boy, and I used to enjoy seeing the priests in that vestment, no? I mean, seeing the priests in that vestment, celebrating mass, I mean, extending their hands, and oh wow, it was so nice. But then I wish to be indebted to my family, especially to my mom, who gave us a very good background on the Catholic faith, taught us a lot about it, the love of God, who God can be in our lives. But then here comes in my uncle, who is ordained a deacon and priest, almost at a timely moment. As I'm beginning to enjoy this, I see this people, oh wow. So I'm like, so it's possible even my uncle is a priest now, yeah. And I remember he had, the first vehicle he had was a pickup. And the best thing we used to enjoy so much about it was climbing on the top of that vehicle and driving us around. Then here comes the most funny bit. When reversing it, it used to have a very nice tune, like that of ice cream people. So all this kept forming me, but most importantly, the background. Then singing the praise, I longed. Then I later on came to realize it's about serving God. But of course, it comes with a certain respect, which personally I've never wanted so much. I prefer being a servant than someone to be served. But then you find it's common. People always want to respect you that way. And of course, what will you do? But it shouldn't make me a proud person. I need to be a servant. Yeah.
So, dear viewers, I hope you are enjoying so far. Najua tumeingia straight to entertainment, but yeah, that's the main aim of the show. We are here to inform you, to entertain you, and to ensure that umepata advice and to get to know more better about yourself. See, kama youths nowadays, we find ourselves that we are in places where hatujui ni nani tutaendea, and mostly, as I said earlier, we find ukiendea mama yako unaona ni kama umse atanijudge, ukiendea mabeshte wako, sometimes they cannot even advise you the right way. So this show, as I said, is here to make sure that you get entertained, you get informed, and you get advice for yourself also, and make you a better person. So this is a place where you can feel comfortable to ask your questions without being judged. Tell Us Padre is the show for you. So going back to the conversation, Father, what is the importance of vocation?
Yeah, the importance of vocations is to help people serve God in different walks of life or ways of life. Because I'm a priest now. Somebody out there is not a priest, a married person, but they also have a special place in the church. So they are recognized and they play a big role. Because, for example, a priest comes from a family. Meaning if a family has a good background, a family is well established, then we can talk about vocations. You just mentioned the youth today and so on, and many of them are falling apart because back in the family, things are not so well as fun. Religion is no longer a big issue for people. Maybe what we know today is social media, too much exposure, and then we are so much into interest and getting married at an earlier age. You see, a lot is happening, and but I mean, for the vocations, this is a way that guides you on what you want to become. Maybe before all this, I should have mentioned also that vocations may not even be limited to what we mentioned from the church. It could also be a position where someone is serving. I can say he doesn't have or she doesn't have the vocation to be a nurse. He doesn't have the vocation to be a teacher. So there's that calling. Actually, there's a special attachment to that call. when you're called to something, and I don't know if it will be relevant, but let me say it. Because you asked the question, how did it all begin? And I remember I had that particular interest. After picking all these, leave alone the vehicle, the pickup, jump on it, that's all that. That didn't matter. But there's something you long to. I want to be there and serve. And this has been always my source of encouragement. Much as the journey has been long and so on, I've faced challenges. Sometimes you find even some people you will expect to believe in you will not believe in you. And maybe even, actually, I could have been a priest a long time ago. But with the long wait, I've been working out there. I've done this. If you ask, I will tell you some of the things I've done. And I don't think that people out there should miss the point of saying I'm not called. I can't be someone. But with the vocation, as you asked, it's a way of serving. Married people, bring up a good family. That's very important. Let us get a priest from the family, a sister, to serve God in that way. They could be an example for the society. We have some leaders. Actually, when you look at the world, most of the systems in the world came from the church. Leadership and laws and so on. They have just been improved, Yeah, so in a way, I can say it really helps to serve better humanity. Yeah, if I can summarize it that way.
Wow. Wow. I hope you guys at home are learning. Mimi nachukua two gems and getting this information very well. Anyway, further we have, according to us now, sisi kama youth, we have not seen so many people getting into vocation. According to you, will you say that we are experiencing a diminishing in vocation or an increase in vocation?
Yes and no. Allow me say yes and no, because we can look at two contexts here. We look at the African context, and then we can look at the European or whatever. Before we know, these people came and brought religion to us. Of course, talking about religion, you know what I mean in this case. It doesn't mean we didn't believe in God somewhere, somehow. We had a notch, we had an attachment. But when these people came and introduced the God the way we know God now, they came with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of power, a lot of energy. But today, when you talk about vocations into priesthood and so much, even going to church, it is down for them. Many of the churches have been turned into bars, restaurants, and so on. That's away from here. In Africa, we are still strong. We are still having an opportunity of doing our best and trying to serve. And many people are still going into the vocation to priesthood. Of course, with the way things are moving, sometimes the numbers are going down. Yet there are still so many young men and women joining the 30 years vocation. Some for the men, the priesthood, mention it. So on either side, we can weigh. But also, it doesn't mean that in Europe it is completely down, because at a time when we thought everything is falling apart, we also find that there are those young men who are coming up. And we are happy that God still sustains us. And I would normally say, before we know, Africa is going to go and evangelize the West. It is happening, even in our congregation as Assumptionists. Today, many of our brothers are being sent out there to serve. And these other men are dying out, old age, so on. And to finish this, I remember there was a priest from Canada, around 80 years old, 79. And he was telling us he's the youngest. Imagine that, he's the youngest there. But still, we are happy. Africa, we're still holding on. And we hope that things still move. So it is a yes and a no. Yeah.
I know this is a question that all of us are asking ourselves. So, Father, how can a youth know their vocation?
How to get into the vocation? First and foremost, let me go back a bit. Vocation comes from the word vocare, to call, Latin. And as earlier mentioned, we are called in different ways. And I might be called to the priesthood. Somebody else does not think the priesthood is for them. That's one. Now, you feel attached to that something. You say other things like not mattering because you feel it, I belong here. So that's what the first step. And then maybe you can even be twisted a bit, but still you maintain. It means you have a particular calling here. Otherwise, you would have given up. Ask me that another day, I'll tell you. It has been a sweet journey.
I'm still curious, and we know that there are different congregations. Why Assumptionist?
Yeah. Getting to that answer is a bit, no, not personal. I'm free to talk about it. But before joining the Assumptionist congregation, I wanted to be a diocesan. That was my interest. Maybe from the roots that I had from my uncle. Of course, sometimes you'd see someone is driving, these people are looking good, they have money, mention it, but also being back home, I mean, it was interesting. And then how I came to join the religious life, something I never thought about, and to join the missionary life is another story. Because I had given up. Finished my Form 6, because we are Form 6. No money. My siblings are somewhere at the university. And then challenges here and there. And I went out and did a few things. Became a teacher without particular qualifications. Went into driving, trucks, transportation. I even thought about joining the army. All that, to mention but a few. But later on, I was I was tempting to do a diploma in ICT, and someone had supported back, family and so on. Then one time, as I'm walking around, I used to go for evening mass at the university. I see this particular note, I mean, at the notice board about the Convent of Franciscans. I think they are known so much in Subukia. I was so concerned and I had a particular interest. I was like, what? Maybe this is interesting. And ask me what came to my mind. I'm going to be taken abroad. This is what came to my mind. I don't know why, but I was like, I need to go and mind my business. Now there's a particular priest I talked to. He's a good friend. He was once my spiritual director. I told him, now, I wish to do this. He told me, if you want to become a priest, God has his own time. I don't want to go into the religious life much as I feel this calling, this interest. I want to be a diocesan. He told me, it is the same. You are a priest wherever you are. And so I wrote to these people, called them. One of the priests came and met with me. We talked. I was so anxious, really waiting. And to make it more lively for me, when the man came, he's a Mzungu, looking good, looking nice. Wow, deal is done. I had my passport, so I was like, oh, since I'm ready, I said I will be enjoying myself. I'm going abroad. Who doesn't want that? Anyway, with Jan, I even tried to go and see how their life is, but I didn't continue with them. I changed my mind. I was a bit scattered at that time. Then somebody told me, join somewhere else. I peeped there. I didn't join. Another one, I was like, maybe this is where I belong to. Still, my mind was about the diocese. So I didn't have much interest in the religious life, the missionary life. But who knows? God knows better. Someone tells me there is a congregation called the Assumptionist Fathers. They are so nice, so free, so interesting. I was like, wow, this is what I've been waiting for. And when I joined, I noticed actually when we came to the parish in Injidu, you couldn't know who the priest is and who the brother is. So free with everyone. It's like, wow, I'm home. I'm home finally. I belong here. And also the group I joined with, actually, we began as 7, but we bonded. 7. At the end of the day, we only completed 3 of us. That's another day. Let me not go there. So assumptionists, I come to join assumptionists. Fathers, I find them so interesting, so caring, so welcoming. Tick.
Independently.
Here I am.
Wow.
I have never looked back.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So guys, as you've heard, kupata vocation yako, it's mlima na mabonde, like there's a journey in it. Unapanda, unashuka, but vocations is something important that we need to talk about. And also we need to know what we're really called for. You know, ni poa sana kujua. And that brings me to my next question. I'm curious to know, how does one get to know they are called?
How will you know you are called?
Mm-hmm.
If you are told you find peace of mind in that particular way of life, it could be a beginning point to know you are called. Secondly, you have a special zeal of doing something in that particular way of life. Because if I tell you to become a soldier today and you don't belong there, you'll never be happy. I'm happy as a priest because this is what I've wanted always. And I feel justified and fulfilled. It has been only, but I'm happy about it. Now, if somebody is just pushing into something, it's like you getting into a relationship with someone you are not in love with. But also, God sustains us in a certain way. Because maybe I didn't mention this. Along the journey, I've faced a number of challenges. Maybe I would have given up. I've seen people dropping out, others giving up by themselves, others being advised to go home and try elsewhere. I've never been advised to try elsewhere, but sometimes I felt like giving up. Will I make it? Sometimes people would talk and you feel so discouraged, but these have been my stepping stones. I am like, there's something I want and I want it. I need also to prove these people wrong that I'm called. I'm not calling myself. So in a way, you have that burning desire deep down you. You are so anxious, so determined, so enthusiastic to serve in that particular position. You can discover your calling that way. Yeah. So today, even as I stand somewhere to celebrate Mass, maybe to work with the youth, and I really feel like I can do something in this calling. And maybe I can help someone to join in. Who knows? Without even speaking much, but maybe with what I do. And maybe 1, 2 things by God's grace.
What is the word that has been keeping you or giving you strength to continue the journey? The word or something that has been pushing you to become who you are today?
Could it be a word or something I looked up to? I think for many time, whenever I felt like giving up, one, it may not be a word, but I was so much encouraged by my mom. Actually, when I was joining, even in Form 1, the person who really believed in me was my mom. She stood with me. May her soul rest in peace. She stood with me. Very strong woman, very prayerful. Show me, my son. I know it's not easy. So I always wanted to make her proud. Because when I went to her, she never put me away. She told me, oh, okay, you can go. I'm praying for you. And that was her prayer always. So I always had also the courage to, okay, I want this. I feel called to this. So if I go out, where am I going? I've been out there, but did I find a difference? No, I need to make a difference. And then I think that's really one of the things that have helped me to remain strong. But there's that desire that I don't even know how to explain deep down that has always pushed me. Even when I saw people giving up, because when I talked about the conventions, actually, it's like I ran away. I told Father, the last minute I'm not going back. I was like, what's wrong? I don't know. I think I don't belong here. So I think one thing I wanted to make my mom proud, but also two, it is something I liked personally. So I didn't want to lose it. And I was like, God, if you have called me into this, sustain me. Make a way for me. See me there. Here I am today. Yeah. Here I am.
Congratulations. Me, I'm just happy.
Sure. Thank you.
Please give an advice to one of the youths who is kind of getting to know their vocation.
Yeah, to the people out there, never give up. If you are destined to be someone, to do something, there are so many challenges out there, but remain focused. Remain focused and put God in the picture. Because today, we seem not to have God in the picture. And also, look out for good, encouraging friends. Not everybody is your friend now. Some people may not be happy about your success and so on. But with God's guidance and determination, focus, you can make it. Even if things tend to fall apart, trust me. Trust me, you'll make it through. I mean, also, the world today is too noisy. Try to listen to that inner voice in the noise. That's the voice of God. The world today is so noisy, noisy, noisy. We are hearing so much. The internet is full of so much, so seducing and so on. But always remember, you want to be someone unique in life. Let me leave it at that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much also for taking your time to come and grace us with your presence. I don't take it for granted. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And may God continue to bless you. And to our dear viewers, I hope you have taken some nuggets of wisdom from Father Augustine. I feel like I have gotten to learn more about vocations, and I hope that also you yourself umetoka na a lot of gems that you can now be able to say something about your vocation, and now you can be able to do it, to choose your vocation more wisely and with the wisdom that has been bestowed to us by Father Augustine. Anyway, this is the show that you can be able to send your questions and ask those questions. Send us through our social media platform, that is Younib_TV on Instagram, Younib Media TV on Facebook, and on the number on your screen, you can SMS or WhatsApp 0719144144. Keep them coming as we search for a way that we will ensure we will answer all your questions and give you a spiritual perspective to it all. Until next time, goodbye.